primitive fears that still control your daily life. Let's get started. 6. Death Spiral on WebMD. You see how a headache turns into a brain tumor after just 5 minutes on WebMD. That's nosophobia in action, which is the dread of getting a certain sickness. It's not only that you're scared of getting sick. Your brain thinks that every symptom means death is near. Medical students are very familiar with this experience. They spend years learning about all the ways the human body might fail. They refer to it as medical student's illness. One day you're learning about liver failure. You are confident that the little pain in your side signifies your liver is shutting down the next day. This old dread become 1,000 times worse because to the internet. Now we have cyberchondria, which means that one simple Google search can lead to a cycle of examining symptoms. You look sleepy all the time and 30 minutes later you're arranging your funeral. And the strange thing is that you might not even have any symptoms of nosophobia. You are only scared of obtaining a certain illness in the future. Some people who are scared of this become addicted to medical tests. They go to the doctor every week and ask for scans and blood testing. Some people react in a different way. They don't go to the doctor at all since just thinking about health makes them panic. Our forefathers had valid reasons to be afraid of strange diseases. One sick person may kill off a whole tribe. That dread kept them alive because it kept them away from unhealthy people. But the same urge for survival is going crazy in our modern environment. Your brain treats every little problem as a saber-toothed tiger. Your brain's fear center doesn't know anything about statistics or modern medicine. It merely knows that infections are real and can kill you. So it goes off at the first sign of trouble, even if the threat is only a bruise you don't remember getting. Fear of bugs built in. When you see a little spider, you leap like it's a velociraptor. Or the sound of a mosquito makes your skin crawl more than any scary movie. Entomophobia is the name for this strong fear of bugs. It's a full-blown panic button for a lot of people. People can go completely crazy over creatures that are much smaller than you and usually harmless. The explanation is that your brain can be running an old protection software. Some bugs were really hazardous for our ancestors. Think of malaria from mosquitoes, illnesses from flies, or unpleasant stings. A fair dosage of, "get away from me," could have saved my life. So that gut feeling to swat or run could be a memory of how our ancestors avoided small bundles of sickness. This isn't simply about being scared. Entomophobia may make living very hard. People might not want to go to parks or open windows in the summer. In modern life, the fear of insects often doesn't reflect how dangerous they really are. Sometimes this strong fear arises from something awful that happened to them. Getting stung by a bee as a kid can make you scared. Your brain makes that connection permanent. A bug is a threat. It might also be something you learn to do. You might have learned to be scared of spiders and houseflies if you watched your parents freak out about them. It's like your brain got their bug panic app. The media doesn't always help. In movies, bugs are typically shown as scary, even if they aren't in real life. If you see a big CGI spider attack the little one in your toilet can appear a lot scarier. Exposure therapy and other therapies can help you get your fear response back on track. So if a housefly makes you want to set fire to the house, keep in mind that your brain might just be trapped in an old survival mode. When an automobile backfires, you leap out of your skin. That's your old survival instinct kicking in. Loud, unexpected sounds could mean danger. It's a basic instinct that helps you stay alive. But what if the alarm didn't only go off when a car backfired? You could go into full-blown panic if you heard dishes clattering, a dog barking, or even a phone ringing. People with phonophobia may live like this. It's an ongoing strange fear of sounds, especially loud ones that come out of nowhere. People with phonophobia don't just find these sounds bothersome. Their brains think they're hazardous. When your neighbor drops a pan, your old brain screams, "Tiger!" Sounds that most people wouldn't even notice are what we're talking about. People with phonophobia may feel very anxious, have a fast heartbeat, or feel like they need to get away right away. A trained response is often what makes this switch go from a normal shock to a crippling fear. If someone had a traumatic experience with a loud noise that happens suddenly, their brain can tend to see all loud noises as dangerous. For example, a car crash that started with tires screeching. Their physiological alarm system goes into overdrive and becomes too sensitive. And the really strange thing is that trying to ignore the sounds can make them worse. Some patients with phonophobia used to be told to stay away from all noise, and sometimes they even wore earplugs all the time. But this plan didn't always work. It turned out that lowering all sound input made their hearing pathways more sensitive. So when they heard a sound, it felt considerably louder, and more scary. It's like making your brain's fear microphone louder. That individual who jumps at the sound of a balloon popping might not be being excessively dramatic. It could be their old survival instincts gone wrong, making everyday sounds sound like false alarms all the time. Walls closing in. When an elevator door closes, you know that feeling of immediate terror and pulse hammering. Or the prospect of being at a crowded concert makes you sweat. That's not just you being over the top. That's claustrophobia, which is an old and very real fear of being stuck. It's not just that they don't like small rooms. Claustrophobia is a strong fear of being in small areas or situations where you feel like you can't get out. Think about the people that came before us. Being stuck in a cave-in surrounded by a predator, or locked in a tiny passage meant nearly certain death for them. Your brain still has that old alarm system built in to keep you alive. It pushes the panic button when it feels like it can't get out. A lot. Adrenaline rushes through your body. Your heart beats faster. You can't get your breath back. You begin to sweat, and your mind shouts, "Get out! Leave right away." It's a basic survival instinct that kicks in when you're in a world of MRI machines and subway vehicles. This fear can happen to anyone, but it usually starts while you're a kid or a teenager. It can also happen after a terrible event, such being trapped in a confined place. But not all the time. There are many different triggers, not just elevators. It could be a little bathroom, a full automobile, a cellar, or even an escape room. For some people, wearing tight clothes can make it worse. The size of the place isn't always the most important thing. Sometimes it's the scary sense of being stuck there. People will do anything to avoid feeling this way. They might take the stairs instead of the elevator, even if it's 20 floors. This old anxiety can practically control what you do every day. Your brain is merely attempting to keep you safe from something that happened a long time ago. But when the walls feel like they're closing in, try telling your amygdala that. 2. Old blood alarm. You've felt dizzy when you saw blood, or you know someone who passes out cold when they get a blood test. That's not just being squeamish. Hemophobia is a basic dread that certain people have built into their brains. The strange thing about blood phobia that sets it apart from other fears is that it doesn't make your heart race or blood pressure rise, which is the usual fight-or-flight response. But something strange happens with hemophobia. Your pulse rate and blood pressure drop abruptly after an initial rush of anxiousness. It's like your body hits an emergency brake and you fall. This is what happens when your vasovagal system works. One explanation is that our bodies evolved such a strong response because it was a way to stay alive. Think about how badly our ancestors hurt themselves. They might have been less likely to be attacked if they pretended to be dead or fainted. A quick drop in blood pressure might also, in theory, stop blood from flowing out of a wound. So your brain isn't attempting to make you look bad. It's running an old program. This isn't simply a small problem. People with hemophobia may not want to see a doctor or get any medical care that involves blood or needles. They might not want to be around those who are hurt. Scientists think that this fear may be strongly linked to genetics. You could be more likely to faint at the sight of blood if someone in your family does. It's a basic phobia that goes back to when seeing blood usually indicated something deadly. So if you feel lightheaded, it's your inner caveman trying to save your life by making you fall on your face. You realize that you can't touch a doorknob in public without needing hand sanitizer right away. Or you get goosebumps when someone coughs near you. That's your brain reacting to hazards you can't see. There is a word for this dread of germs and contamination. It's more than just a preference for cleanliness. Our brains made a very strong alert system. In the past, bad water or food that was going bad might be very dangerous. It's better to stay away from anything that seems off than to get sick. That identical alarm system is still working today. But now it's going off about buttons on elevators and shopping cart handles. People with mysophobia get scared when they touch a public handrail. They can start to sweat just thinking about using a public bathroom. Their brains are trapped in survival mode, it seems. This terror might take over your whole existence. People begin to stay away from public places. They don't go to social events. They obsess about contamination for hours every day. Some people wash their hands till they are bleeding and raw. It's tiring. This fear can sometimes mix with obsessive-compulsive habits. People do things like washing their hands 3 times because they are afraid of getting sick. These practices help reduce the anxiety for a short time, but the relief never lasts. Your brain, which is supposed to keep you safe, is suddenly making you worry about modern doorknobs. It seems like the invisible enemy is everywhere, and your programming won't let you forget it. That's it for today. I'll be making videos like this one in the future. To see them, sign up.